Hello, everyone. It's Melina and
Jordan.
and we are the board certified BAes.
BAes.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
How you doing?
I'm tired. It's been a hectic holiday season, and it's not finally, but it's coming to an end. So bittersweet. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It is, unfortunately. But I guess fortunately, because sometimes people just don't know how to act during the holiday season.
Okay. Don't know what you're referring to, but okay.
Well, just driving in lines and like everyone's impatient.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like when
true.
you go somewhere, it's like, no.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not.
Holiday cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Bunch of
anyways,
Grinches.
today we are talking about the loves of ABA. We talked about the icks already. We talked about the things that are like super annoying or frustrating about our field. But today we come back and we restore and we talk about the things that we actually love and appreciate about our field.
Yeah, the love.
So, do you want to start off this one?
Do you want me to start off this
Sure.
one?
Go ahead.
I guess I think that the first love I have for ABA is not just the science, but it is watching parents seeing a change when they do it.
Mm.
That I parent consultation and meeting with parents is often like daunting or very difficult for behavior analysts, and dealing with parents in general can be hard. And within reason, right? They want to see the best for their kids. Like that's it. And they're their kids' number one advocate. So of course they can be hard at times or difficult, but they have every right to be, because they want what's best for their child. But then you also have families that aren't really that involved, and those ones can be hard to work with. But what I love is when those families get to have a piece of that success because we helped them to do something that they never thought they could do. That feeling of just seeing the accomplishment, having them be happy and excited and engaged about it, something about that I love, and it keeps the gas in my tank going all the time.
I like that.
I love seeing parents be successful. I think it's just so fun.
That's cool.
It's such a different feel too. What about you? What's your first one?
I like the collaboration piece of what we do. I guess that kind of piggybacks off of yours, but more so like within our teams. So like collaborating with other BCBAs that I work with, or talking with staff that works with the client every day. It's, I think, almost affirming for them when we reach out and ask like, okay, so what are you thinking? How do you feel about this? Like that, the collaboration piece of that. And then also the collaboration piece of like other people that work with the kiddo. So whether it be the doctors or the school team or speech or OT, like it's really cool because we get to all kind of come together and use our expertise, but also it's like a learning opportunity for us. Like I feel like I've learned so much from the collaboration of like with schools or with speech or OT, just little things that we can do with our kids to help encourage language and things like that. So anyways, I like that piece, the collaboration part, because I'm nowhere near qualified to be a speech pathologist or occupational therapist or special needs teacher, but I feel like I've learned a lot to be able to almost provide better behavioral services because of them.
That makes sense. And that's good. I mean, it is important for us to collaborate. Like that is a key component. We use a lot of behavioral techniques and stuff that can kind of translate over plenty of different fields.
Yep.
And so being able to collaborate and provide suggestions and stuff like that is fun. So I agree with you on that for sure. I think another really big one, I mean, this is this podcast is not just going over like the simple loves. Like I love seeing success, I love being able to make a difference. Like those are all, like, we're in this field, those are a given. They should be like coming with them. But yes, of course we can say them. Like I do love seeing success in kids. I'm sure you love seeing success too. Right? Yeah, I do love being able to make a difference, both in kids, family, and staff. I think another one, and I think this is just more of a me thing, of just the challenge, like the difficult side of things. I actually really love that. Like, what can I get in there and make a difference with? That to me is that's trying something new all of the time. I find extremely fun in a like challenging good way. Like, I love being able to do that. Like, oh, okay, this isn't working, but let's try this. That's not working. Let's try this. And then just like having this evolution of changes um, that challenges like my thought process, I think is something that I love and love to be able to contribute to, because not everything is easy. And I don't think I would want it all easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. Okay, so I like that. So obviously, applied, right? Things that actually apply are a big deal in people's lives. I think one thing that's cool, and this isn't with necessarily something that we get to do with like all of our clients, but there are some clients that we have that are older and that are able to really express how they feel, things like that. I think one of my favorite things lately has been being able to bring them into like decision making on the things that they feel are important to their life.
Mm.
I don't know if that makes sense, but just
Mm-hmm.
more so like, you know, I think we've talked about like contingency contracts, things like that, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, what are the things that you think you should work on or that we can help you with? That's been really cool to hear like perspective of some of the students that I work with, them telling me like, you know, this is what I love about, you know, coming to ABA. This is what I hate about coming to ABA. These are things I can work on. These are things that I feel like I don't need to work on, you know. That's been a really fun and really cool part about my job, coming from a place where I was a teacher, right? I was a teacher before. You don't really have flexibility in that.
Yeah.
You have your standards and you have to follow them. And even if a kid doesn't thrive in that, or maybe a kid is doing a great job in that, like everyone's working on the same thing and has to complete the same thing. Whereas I love that we get to individualize everything. So,
There's a lot in there that you love.
yeah, like three things in one.
I think that was a lot, but those are all good things to love. Yeah, being able to collaborate with a kid though was like the biggest one. I think that's like stood out to me in that, because that is awesome. Being able to work with a kid to create their own motivation systems, to create their own interests and schedules of reinforcement and things like that. Being able to be in that position with a kiddo is huge.
Yeah.
Right, helping transition that to that self motivation. So that's super cool. Um, Let's see. What's another one for me that I really, really love? I do love seeing success on other people.
Mm-hmm.
I know I did mention like parents in the beginning as my first one, um, but I love seeing like staff having success as well. So even if it's just guiding them and coaching them, and seeing the transition from having to help them by modeling to then fading to helping them by coaching them, and then helping them by thinking through it conceptually. I think that progression of independence on the staff perspective is also super cool, and something that I love to do, and love to watch
Yeah,
happen.
that's cool.
What you got?
I'm trying to think so that I don't say 12 in one again.
Well, that's a long list of things that we love about this field. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
Like, and we're going above and beyond the like stereotypical, I love kids, I love this, because that's a given.
Yeah. I guess about my job, like ABA. No, let me bring it back to ABA. I was gonna specify my job. Well, okay, I'll go there and then I'll go back to ABA. I love my job because of the like connections that I've been able to make with staff, parents, kids, all the above. I think I'm not like super extroverted, but I love like those one-on-one connections. So I really like making connections with like everyone. I think it was just this week where we were reviewing case lists, and you were like, okay, do you want to, we're like trying to readjust them. And you're like, okay, so what about this like client? And I'm like, wait, I love them. Or like, I love that mom. Or like, I love those parents. And then you're like, okay, well, what about this one? I'm like, wait, but they're my favorite too. Like, you know, so just that. But then even staff, getting to know staff on like a personal level is really fun. They all make me feel young and old at the same time. So that's fun. We work with like a bunch of girlies. It's just, yeah, just Jordan on the team. That's a boy. But so yeah, I feel like they're all my like little sisters. Um, so it's fun, like just getting to know them all in different ways that they learn and different things that they feel success in, things like that. The field of ABA, I think it's fun to like once you kind of have staff that you know is headed in a BCBA direction, I think it's fun to kind of nerd out and be like, hey, but did you see what just happened? Do you remember what this thing is? Or, like handing them a BIP and being like, so this is from like 6 months ago. Let's redo it. What do you see that's changed? Things like that, like challenging them in those ways. I think talking with the jargon is fun when you're in your little like bubble. I wouldn't say do this with like parents or new staff, but like when they're BCBA to Bs, it's fun to kind of throw out like terminology and kind of like geek out and those little kinds of things. So
Yeah, that is good. We have quite a few of those, so we get to have a lot of fun with that one. I think another thing, I don't even know why I keep saying I think, because it's not I think, I know. But another thing that I do love about this field is the evolution of the science. It's constantly changing. And I know I've said this before too about loving the fact that we have to do continuing education because it allows us to learn new things or get a glimpse into new things that we then go research and do more things with and see if it works and apply. So that whole process I actually really love. Now, sometimes I wait until too late to do my CEUs, and I think I speak for like almost every BCBA, where it's like, oh my gosh, I got 6 months and I've only done 2 CEUs. But in all,
is
like,
that
it's
just
still
BCBAs though?
no.
I'm
I
sure
think
it's in
that's
every
everybody.
field.
I'm sure it's in every field that has like continuing education that they have to do. But
I mean, that wait till the last second.
but sure, I guess it doesn't even have to be CEUs. But yeah, I love the process of learning and being able to learn something new. I know before I even found this field, before I even got into it, I always said that if I had a office job that made me sit in 4 walls all day, that would be the equivalent of me going to prison, and I would not want to be sitting all day in a cubicle or something like that. So I really love that I'm able to not only make a difference in staff, kids, parents, on the agency that we work at and strive for greatness at, but just that I can continually be pushing myself to learn and adapt and do more because there's not enough. There's not enough of us, and I feel like I could always be doing more. So there's like a deep love for like progression and growing that comes and looking at things differently. And I've just truly love that part about the field.
Yeah. Maybe one more each.
Why? Because we could go on forever.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so I think one other thing that I think is like really cool to see is like again, we talked about applied. So things that are a big deal for our clients. And so seeing those big deal things happen that is going to be forever life changing, kind of piggybacking off of what you were saying, right? Like potty training. Maybe even just like being able to walk with parents in a community without worrying about your kid having like a moment where they run away or run into the street, right? Like parents confidently being able to take their kids out to the grocery store for the first time. I think things like those, like things that people take for granted day to day with, their children that others like would give anything up for, right? Like seeing a family be able to go to dinner for the first time outside of the house.
Yep.
Things like that are a huge deal. Those are the moments that I feel like are really sweet, and just kind of, are a testament to how the science, when done right, can really work.
Yeah, I love that too. And you know me, I don't know why I never said that one, but like you see me work all the time in terms of those things like that are super functional, going to the doctor, going to the dentist, behavioral cuffs, learning to read, going potty training, all those things are huge. I love taking on those things. If I hear a parent that say like, I haven't been able to go to the park in 2 years because I'm worried about my child's behavior. Okay, let's dive into those, not only from the parent perspective, but like what are the behaviors that the kiddo's having that preventing you from thinking that you can be successful in that setting. And I love being able to create and help facilitate those experiences to come back. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And I know I'm just piggybacking off of what you just said, but
I mean,
you're right.
I feel that way, but I feel like I've learned a lot of that from you as well, where there's times where I felt like stagnant with parent consultation. And you're like, well, have you asked them if they've done this recently? Have they done this? What do they miss about this? I'm like, oh, that's right.
I think I remember that conversation too.
Yeah.
Because I was going through a period of time of asking parents like what they did before they had kids, and what they missed, right, and why they think they can't do that now and things like that. But I think there's so much to love about the field. So if anybody's on the cusp of like, oh, maybe I do want to become, or maybe I don't, I'm not sure. Really think about like what it is that you're trying to get out of a field. Like there are definitely things like we've gone over, like the icks, the things that we don't really like about the field, but and now we're bringing you the things that we do love, which I feel like is a shorter list because we can go in on these forever in different ways, and we're just giving you the whole concept rather than the little details that go into each one.
Absolutely.
But that comes with any field. Anything that you do has its positive and negative side. And what we're doing here is trying to highlight them in honest conversation. And the ones that we're saying, they're really important. You can have such a huge difference with kids, with families in this field. And it's awesome. Like it truly is. There's so much to be said about ABA. There's so much that we can do about it because you can always look at things differently. And I think that's a big piece too, is like that I love is my perspective is not always going to be the right one. And I love that. Like someone can come to me and be like, have you thought about this? I'll be like, no. Or like giving flowers to the staff, or giving them their flowers, not physical flowers, but giving them like, their recognition.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
giving them their recognition when they're doing something. Right. When they're hitting those milestones and changing things or coming with ideas, those are important. Which piggybacks off of your collaboration.
And I would like to end with saying that's also the cool thing about us being married is that we get it. So like if there's like a success or a hardship at work, I mean, also we work together, but like the field, right? Like I feel like we get it because we both are in the same realm and have the same passion about it. So I think as a married couple, as married BCBAs, that's one thing that feels really cool too, is that like you get it.
Yeah, totally. But it also makes it hard on a marriage side of things, because when we come home,
it's like
pillow talk is not supposed to be about functions and building bips.
I know.
So
it's a blessing and a curse.
It is. But we get to collaborate together, which is a love. I mean,
the problem is that once one gets talking, the other one can't help but continue the conversation. So that's
until one of us wakes up and realizes like, no, like we should stop.
Yeah. So
like,
anyways,
let's talk about our kids. But that's also something to love about it too, is that, we get to see behaviors for what they are. We understand them. So while things still hurt from a parent's perspective when things are happening, we know in the back of our mind why those things are happening and what we should do to do it. Doesn't mean we always make the right choice,
or that it makes it easier.
Or that it makes it easier. But we at least understand. So when we sit back and reflect, we have something that a lot of parents don't really get the option to. They come to us for, but yet we can sit there and do that together, which is super cool and something that I think I do love about us both being BCBAs.
Doesn't mean we always agree.
Doesn't make we always agree. Doesn't mean we always do it right. Doesn't mean we take on the right battles.
Yeah.
But it is something that is what others don't have.
Yeah.
So we get that extra level of collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So let's call it there at the end of the loves, because you guys are probably reaching your destination
Because
about
I
now.
love you. Oh, you gotta make it more. Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways, we hope you guys.
We're two different sizes. It's really hard to do that if we're two different sizes.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yep.
We hope you have a wonderful and safe new year and beginning of the year, and we will talk to you next time.
Yep. Another love is we love you guys. Thanks for listening.